now.
Me now.
It's now.
I'm seeing myself into the future. How is this even possible? Tyler's doing his weird Batman Fly Eagles Fly thing, or I don't know what that is.
Sir,
Vince is doing some other
Nonsense.
move.
Yeah.
So they're feeling it.
This is Napoleon Dynamite, sir.
Oh, I thought you were doing some weird Fly Eagles.
Yeah, honestly,
fly
like
celebration.
Here's your first hot take of the episode. Napoleon Dynamite is mid. That's right. I said it. And the only time I laughed in the entire movie was when he went, "Your mom goes to college." That one got me, but the rest of it, I was like, eh.
Well, there's an explanation for that, and it's you don't have a sense of humor.
That's fine. Whatever.
Not when his uncle was showing off his prowess at his football skills.
No, it was just.
I just think that movie's so funny because it's so stupid. You know who got me to watch that movie was my dad. I came home one day. I did not want to watch this movie. I came home one day. My dad's watching it on DVD when that was a thing.
Right.
So I'm like, what are you watching? And he's laughing his ass off. And then so he's like, start it from the beginning. Start it from the beginning. I sit down and watch it. Me and my dad laughed our asses off. And I don't know. I think ever since then, I think of the first time I ever seen that movie was with my dad, and we laughed our butts off. So
that's me.
You know, to be fair, I could have just been having a real bad day and wasn't in the mood. It could have been like when I watched it, but like I don't know, I just didn't. And I only saw it really the one time. I was like, you know what, I'm not going back to this. And then
we know who's not voting for Pedro.
That's right. If the show ain't me.
All right, this is a sports show. We'll get.
It's
back
not a
to
Napoleon
sports.
Dynamite recap. Show. Sorry.
Very exciting weekend for all of us. I'll just start with the birthday stuff. We went to the Sharks game, and we had a blast, man. I just wanted to really just say thank you to you guys and our extended circle of friends. I had one of the best birthdays, a 40-year-old child could have. It was full of hockey cards, jerseys, hats, hockey stick beer. It was great. So I just want to say thank you guys so much, everybody, all our friends who came out and made me feel really happy to be born, that I got you guys hockey beanies because it was a giveaway.
That's right. Yeah, it was Lunar New Year. So
Sharks got blown out.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about that. Yeah.
But I'll forgive them this time. They could give me a free ticket next year. That's the only way that they can make it up. And the other stuff was Tyler. You're happy.
Yeah,
Let's
man.
start with the Eagles. What was the Vince? Do your scores.
Eagles get the big win, 55 to 23.
Yeah, man. 50. That's never been done ever in a championship game. So get to hang our hats on that. That's pretty cool. But let's talk about yesterday, man. Let's talk about all the pundits that said Jalen Hurts is the only question mark on this team right now. Let's talk about Joe Witt, the DC for the Washington Commanders, saying that if Jalen wants to become a runner, we'll make sure to lay the hit on him. What did Jalen do? Just go for 20 for 28, 246 yards, throws for a touchdown, rushes for 3 of them, no interceptions, made the right reads, and threw the ball away when he was pressured. I didn't see that big hit by Washington. A lot of talk. Nothing happened. I didn't see that question mark of him being a quality and accurate passer. All I saw was a dime after a dime. Pundits like ESPN are true clowns. Absolutely clowns. To question a quarterback's throwing ability in the middle of a blizzard while he's playing on one leg in freezing temperature weather, ridiculous, man. No one's throwing the ball for 400 yards in a blizzard. It's not happening. He's been a staple this season. And if it wasn't for the wrecking ball that is Saquon Barkley, Jalen would be talked about just as much as all the other quarterbacks in this league of the top tier ones here. When you have a running back that's on the verge of shattering almost every rushing record possible in a single season, I don't think you need to throw the ball 40 to 50 times a game like some of these other quarterbacks do. Okay? Let's talk about how this, Washington has been so good with securing the ball. And now the pundits are saying, Well, how could they have turned the ball over in the most important game of the season? Yet nobody wants to talk about this Eagles defense that was built brick by brick by the architect of Howie Roseman, with Vic Fangio as the beautiful maestro conducting this defensive symphony. There's a reason this defense is the tops in the season in almost every metric you throw at it. But let's talk about how Washington, who has been so good, be so undisciplined. Not the Eagles defense. How about Howie and Vic? How do you find a rugby player in Mailata and turn him into the best left guard in the league? How do you find a quarterback and a safety in Zach Bond and turn him into the Pro Bowler middle linebacker when he's never even played that position in the pros or college? How about Cam Jurgens, our center that replaced Kelsey without missing a beat? How about how he was struggling to stand up all week, couldn't go through practices because of his back injury? And we had to put our right tackle and Landon Dickerson to play center. And when Dickerson was giving everything he had and he was only on one leg, you could see Cam fighting to get back in that game, knowing that Landon was struggling. Not only did Cam get back in that game, but he proceeded to do the brotherly shove 5 times on a back injury where he could barely even stand up during the week. This team is full of dogs. Everyone is still proceeding to doubt us, and everyone seems to still not like us. And guess what? We do not care. One more to go. The main thing is the main thing, and that's all that matters with this team. Super Bowl ready, baby.
Wow.
Don't forget to cup the balls. No, no, you did great. That was very well said, dude.
Did not know you were going full monologue there,
That's
man.
right. Yeah.
Very well said, man.
Tim, let's clip that and put that on its own thing.
That's a little
already
Eagles ripper.
Yeah. Tim literally in the chat saying, "Someone clip that."
It was a great game.
You guys were over at my house to watch it too. So that was cool. Thanks for hanging out.
Absolutely, no, we had a blast. No,
man.
He is a legit number 1 quarterback, and I think Vince and I we were talking about in the offseason when the Eagles added to their coaching staff, where they got Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio. We were both like, those are really good pickups from a coaching staff, because coaches, even though Sirianni's like the head coach, you got to have good head coaches throughout. And those were 2 fantastic hires. The people they're going to bring in, they've been able to stack a lot of talent. And Howie Roseman is, the Eagles have been competitive for 30 years now because they've been able to hit on the draft.
3
Same
Super
with
Bowls
Ravens.
in 8 years, man. That's impressive.
Yeah, dude, there's something in the sauce that's working.
If it weren't for the Chiefs, we'd be talking about how often the Eagles are in the Super Bowl,
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, I really like this Eagles team. Last year, I think your Papa G said it the other day, yesterday, the Eagles got beat by the 49ers and last year, and they just weren't the same that season. This season, it took them a little while to get really rolling, but now they look complete. They definitely look like the best roster in the NFL. Talent-wise, position by position, they are the best roster, I think, pound for pound.
Yeah,
I agree, man. And I know I'm going to steal Vince's thunder here. I mean, I know the Chiefs ended up winning that game yesterday, 32-29, but I watched that game from entirety. If the Chiefs play that way against the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl. Like that run game, I know we were talking about Pacheco. It's impressive that he's even playing, given that he broke his leg to start the season here. That running game for the Chiefs, it isn't that wow factor. There's something that's impressive about it. Mahomes is the reason why the Chiefs are where they're at right now. Plain and simple. Love him, hate him. We critique him with how he gets his penalties. Fair enough, but at the end of the day, he's still throwing that rock around, and he does it better than anybody else right now.
For sure. Well, so. It's the circus plays. It's like one of these, like not even looking, like staring at the camera, and he throws the football behind his head, and it bounces off 3 guys for a touchdown. Like just last week, not this last game, but I think the week before, he's getting sacked and he throws the ball. So it's just all the circus stuff where any other human being would get sacked, but somehow he's just able to get the ball off no matter what. It's ridiculous. It's like it's a video game. And I think that's why people hate it. That's why I hate it. If it was my guy, I'd be like, you're gonna defend it. So I think overall, though, we're burnt out on the Chiefs because of the commercials. Tired of this damn insurance commercials. Tired of seeing the Kelseys on everything. Just ready for this to go away. I know you got one of the Kelseys, but I'm done. I don't want no more Chief stuff. I guess
there's
also I'm rooting for the Eagles to win now.
There's also question marks of what Jason Kelce is going to show up to in New Orleans, and I was like, is there really a question mark? What he's going to wear? He's going to wear the Jester outfit. Why he would wear nothing else but that Jester outfit? So,
oh man,
no, I'm excited, man. 2 weeks can't come here fast enough for me, but
we got the shitty Pro Bowl in between that nobody's gonna watch because.
Come on, you guys know that's my favorite.
Yeah,
I'm glad
you're gonna order
6 players that are not going to be in it.
You're gonna order Domino's and just whatever other, I don't know, maybe Arby's or something too. Just whatever shitty foods to match the shitty Pro Bowl. That's right. Ha That's a deep cut inside joke, actually.
Yeah. That's going to be the next pick. The next draft is your fast food draft.
Yeah, we'll do that one. Yeah. For when it's Vinny's game time again. When there's only baseball going on and we don't talk baseball, that's what we'll do again, or is something like that for Vinny's game day or something like that. Yeah,
for sure.
Put it on the list, Vince.
Put it on the spreadsheet.
That's right. We'll create the spreadsheet. Yeah.
As Tyler said, 32-29 Chiefs over Bills. What was your guys' takeaways from the game? Like just from this game itself?
As far as like the calls that always go the Chiefs' way, I think there was only really 2 of them that were like 50-50 calls, and both of them did go the Chiefs' way. Specifically, the one that I'm thinking about the most is the Josh Allen not called a first down.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, do you think
I thought he got there?
I thought he got it.
I thought he got it too, but
I think he got it, but I think the only camera angle. Now we got to remember, NFL doesn't have the flyby camera on top. They don't have the above camera. Yeah. So the sideline camera, I think, had the best version of it. Gets blocked out by Chris Jones and his big ass head. So
yeah,
you can see where
the other side is Josh Allen's big ass squared up shoulders blocking it too. So you couldn't see from the other side of it. So it's tough. And I mean, just like intrinsically, like I could see how it should have gotten there, how it should have worked, but because they didn't have the incontrovertible video proof, they were able to, not overturn the call because they had originally said he stopped short, even though he got there.
And
in a lot of people's estimation.
If anybody asks, just curious, like, well, why, if they have this zipline camera, why can that not be used? It's because some games do not have a zipline camera, so it's an unfair advantage in some games. So the NFL just refuses to use it, which is dumb. Because here's a quick solution: make it so every single game has that zipline camera.
Yeah, it should be something that's available at every stadium at this point. I mean, it's
impossible.
Yeah,
people ask for too much.
Yeah, you're right. You're completely right, and I apologize 1,000 times.
The other quick solution is this: put a little sensor inside the football on each tip on the nose.
Yeah,
and then the marker cones also has a zip line, zip line.
Yeah, I mean you can. I mean they can put a grid underneath like the turf or whatever. Yeah, and just it's the technology is there. They use a lot of like for tennis or whatever. Like they do some the replays and stuff with tennis. There's no reason why they can't do a version of that with football now. It's just they like to be difficult, I guess. I don't know, man. It's a pain in the ass, and they keep getting these calls either wrong or they're way too close that they can't make they can't flip it either way, whichever way they go originally.
Yeah, well, I mean, I do want to say that call. I'm not mad at that call. Like, obviously, if you're a Bills fan, you're mad, but really, it's It's
close
not enough to turn it over.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's a 50-50 call, and in those cases, it's whatever the original call in the field was is what's going to stand. And then I'm just kind of pissed off that they didn't give him the first down to begin with, because you see one guy coming in from the top saying, looking like he gave the first down, and you got the guy coming in from the bottom of the screen going up, having him short of a half a yard. So, and then they talk it out, and the guy having him short ends up winning that argument. So
yeah, I want to know what that
tough,
argument's about. Like,
yeah,
I'm just calling a first down because I thought he got it, and the other guy's like, no,
he was definitely short. He was definitely short. I saw it. Yeah. So, insert the meme of Jesse Pinkman going, "You can't keep getting away with this." In the chat, my dad's asking, why would it be unfair? It's because it's a camera angle that's not available at every stadium, basically. And they want to make sure that every camera angle that they use is something that can be used at every stadium. And so it's just sort of a baseline. So as soon as they get it in every stadium, then they can use it, but they're not going to do it until that becomes a thing.
Who's the holdups? That's what I want to know. Like,
is Jacksonville fucking it up again? Fucking Florida, man.
Like, what is going on? Who's doing this?
Yeah. Who's to blame? It's honestly, it's probably an outdoor venue of some kind. It might be Buffalo. I mean, because of like just all the snow and stuff, and they're building a new stadium anyway. So why would they're
going to get it,
invest in a few $1 million in a camera that they're only going to use for one more season?
Can we see that Buffalo Bills fans are probably the only fans in major sports that I can imagine or think that would totally be okay and on board with flipping the bill on helping a billionaire build a new stadium, just because of how that fan base is and how giving back they are on everything, They're the only fan base I could see being like, yeah, we'll flip 5%. Like Sam's point. I mean, the fans generated money for Mark Andrews, foundation.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Yeah.
So it's crazy how crazy Bills Mafia is, yet how generous they are at the same time. Those are some good, beautiful idiots we got over there in Buffalo, and they do a lot of good work, man.
I saw this one where the other day they were talking about the fans and the Mark Andrews thing, and then I was listening to these two broadcasters talk about it, and this broadcaster who grew up a Bills fan says, when Norwood missed the field goal, the mayor a couple weeks after the Super Bowl threw a Scott Norwood day because they felt so bad that he missed the kick. So they didn't want the fans to hate him, so they celebrated his day. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And who doesn't love Doug Flutie?
I remember Flutie Flakes.
Who doesn't love Doug Flutie? Everybody loves Doug Flutie.
Yeah. Oh man. So obviously the Chiefs ended up winning. They get the win by 3. They come from behind because the Bills were up at one point in the fourth quarter, and they do it again. The Chiefs they're going for the three-peat. No NFL team in the Super Bowl era,
right? They missed that 2-point conversion earlier in the game.
Yeah. So the Bills went for a 2-point conversion because they were the touchdown put them up 1. So
right.
If you get the 2-point conversion, you're up by 3. If you miss the 2-point conversion, you're up 1. If you go for 1 and make it, you're up 2. And there is no there's no tangible difference between being up 2 points and being up 1 point. It's a field goal.
I was going to say, Vince, because if they get that 1 point back, it's 30-32. Does that change a little bit of the play calling?
It does
on that drive, and I think it would.
Well, it does, and it also changes Kansas City going for 2. Kansas City would not go for 2. So I think it does change some variables. Kansas City went for 2 to be up by a field goal, and they got it. So if Buffalo just gets the 1 point, there's no reason for Kansas City to
they just kicked the 1 and they're still up by 3
at the
either
time
way.
When Buffalo went for the 2-point conversion, I was watching it on my phone. We had a break away from your house because we had a family dinner.
Yeah.
So I had my cell phone set up where I was watching the game at dinner. And when that came up, I was like, man, take the field goal, because I I'd rather deal with being down 3 points later if it's a game-winning drive. So even if I was in the situation of down 2 or 1 or to tie, I'd rather just deal with that later, because if I'm short, it pretty much makes me have to get a touchdown to, a touchdown and a 2-point conversion or something. So I thought that came into play with the play calling in the fourth quarter on that final drive. He threw that, Jared Allen threw that bomb, and their tight end,
Kincaid.
I think, Kincaid had a chance at it.
Yeah, he had a chance
He had a chance.
on that fourth down. It like they actually showed the view from behind, the camera angle from behind. It actually hits off of the forearm.
Yeah.
As he's diving for it. It was so close. And I mean, that's a second-year player too. He's like, they expected him to make a jump, and he didn't quite make the fantasy football jump that you wanted to see, like the counting numbers and stuff. But he definitely had improvements like in other type of stuff that you want to see out of a tight end.
Your dad just corrected me and said 2 missed 2 points.
2 missed conversions. Yeah, they did. It was the they went for 2 the second time because they missed it the first time. So
right.
I think, and it's oops. Yeah. So it's.
I'm not crushing the Bills saying that that's the 2-point conversion.
No, yeah, there was other opportunities.
There's other opportunities, but at that point in the game, I was definitely like, just take the field goal on that first one. Just take the field goal, because you could be down 3 and all you need is a field goal, and you don't know how the plays are going to develop. So, where are you going to be at in range? And I thought potentially could have changed their fourth quarter designs. You're a little bit less desperate to get that first down. Now you're just trying to get into range, so you could look for different things. But it is what it is. Monday morning quarterbacking.
Yeah. With the and with that loss, I am all but eliminated from our little pick'em game. We're not going to pick the Super Bowl this week, although I think you all know where Tyler's going with his pick.
Ain't no bet in this house.
Yeah, no. So when you factor in the bonus points for picking the Eagles to get to the Super Bowl and then win, Tyler, if the Eagles win, Tyler blows us all the way out of that game. And I basically have no shot at winning, so I'm kind of free to do whatever the hell I think is going to actually happen. So that's nice.
I also already requested that day off, so your boy will not be at work on February 10th.
Oh, nice. That's probably a good call. So let's move on to some coaching carousel stuff. Some just kind of around the league news and notes. This past week, the Jets hired Lions defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn as their next head coach. He had a pretty fiery introductory press conference too, so he seems hyped up and wanted to change the culture and all that, all the other cliches you can throw out there. Josh McDaniels is going to be back in New England for the third time as their offensive coordinator. I don't know. Sure, why not? The Jaguars. Go ahead.
Who says you can't go home? So
right, yeah. There's a Bon Jovi song that says that.
It's
right?
like that kid that he just keeps coming home. You can't
shake him. Yeah,
can't shake him.
The Jaguars hire Bucs offensive coordinator Liam Cohen as their next head coach, and the Bucs tried to keep him. They actually bumped up his pay, but then the Jaguars came back and they made that a thing. On Friday, the Niners will bring back Robert Saleh as their defensive coordinator after the Jets did Jets things under his head coaching tenure. So I'm happy to have him back. He's a quality defensive coordinator. And I think the defense is going to be much improved next year as long as we get, certain pieces back. And, as long as the offseason goes how I hope it goes, then I think the Niners are back, especially with the schedule being as it is. The biggest hire on Friday was Cowboys. The Raiders hiring Pete Carroll as their next head coach. I would never do that, ever, not even in a fire. Never, ever. So
I'm fired up, Vince. I'm fired up.
Yeah, you're so fired up. You put out your own special.
I did.
Thing about which it. So also, you guys should go check that one out too.
Should absolutely go check that out for the full thoughts. But give us the abridged version. What do you think?
I love it, man. I'm gonna do another video as soon as I can, either tonight or tomorrow. about the press conference, and I really like it. I think in the video that I posted earlier, John Spytek, younger guy, he gets a 5-year deal. Pete Carroll, older guy, he gets a 3-year deal with a 4th-year option. And after today's press conference, Pete Carroll wants to compete now. He's not trying to build this thing up for 5 years from now. He's in a win now mode, like age and just from a competition mode. And I think it kind of makes sense. I think the Raiders' ideal world would have been you get Ben Johnson, you get John Spytek, you get 2 young guys. They're the best at what they both do. And you just ride those coattails for the next 10, 15 years if you can keep them in the building. It didn't work out that way, and that's fine. But I think with the 5-year deal that Spytek gets, it allows him to build the roster, see what Pete Carroll can do. Spytek gets his sea legs and really understands how to run an organization from that upper level down. And then he gets to pick a second head coach because we know there's going to be another head coach under this era. And, just based on age, we know Pete Carroll's a very energetic 73, 74-year-old. He'll outcompete all of us probably in anything. So he's doing well.
Yeah, he's a spry 74.
He's spry, and his press conference, man, I loved it. I loved every second of it. I loved how pumped up he was getting, and it was instantly contagious. And I think it's the shot the Raiders need from he's a Hall of Fame coach. He's one of only a few people to win at the college level and the pro level. What he did with Seattle's still competitive, and a majority of that roster is still what Pete Carroll put on the field at his time there. It's only 2 years ago that he was there, and I don't think Seattle's world beaters right now, but they were competitive. They're always a tough one to put away.
They're a pain in the ass. Yeah,
they're a pain. And a lot of those players who match that Pete Carroll identity, they're still there. And they were drafted in the last few years of the Pete Carroll era. So I think this is going to be really good just from an organizational standpoint. I'm really happy. Obviously, I hope it translates to win sooner than later. They got a ton of cap room. They got decent draft picks. They got some extra draft picks. I think they got 10 right now. Let
me ask you this.
And they still got good players on the team. And I don't want to say if they had a better coach, they should have been a 12-win team. They should have been better. I'm not saying they should have been better. Period. They should have been closer to, 9 to 10 wins is what I saw. And they need to get there as soon as they can. And I think Pete Carroll can do that.
Well, let me ask you this. So obviously Tom Brady is going on record saying he's going to help Pete Carroll find a quarterback for the next season, whether it be the draft, whether it be through free agency. Let's just say the draft comes. There's not really something that's like maybe they don't want to go with another project. Okay, and that's probably kind of what we're leaning towards in this draft, possibly, right? So let's say we look at our pick of the litter here for free agents here. Anything I think of merit here, you've got Sam Darnold, who had a breakout season, but I do think that OC is probably the reason why he had that breakout season. Not to say that he wouldn't thrive again, but I just think that there's something magical that went on with Minnesota. You've got Russell Wilson, which obviously there's a little bit of a traction there. You've also who's also going to be a free agent is Justin Fields.
Yep.
He's going to be a free agent here.
And Pittsburgh has already said they're only going to keep one of those two.
Exactly.
So
there's not much left. I mean, outside of that, looking at the list here,
Derek Carr.
Yeah, but Carr, I don't think they're going to come back to that one.
I don't think they would do that. But
Trey Lance is proven to be a bust. Zach Wilson's a bust. You're not going to go back to Marcus Mariota.
No.
Drew Lock might get a phone call just because Pete Carroll, but he's not going. You know what I mean? So reality, your options are probably Sam Darnold, maybe Justin Fields, and maybe Russell Wilson.
I'm not ruling out the trade market. I honestly think I wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders traded for Geno Smith, to be honest. And I know that's not really a hot take. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised, because what would you have to give up for him? You're not giving up the 6th overall pick for Geno Smith,
No,
right? So
no. I
what
mean,
would it cost you?
maybe a couple of thirds. Maybe.
I mean, if
Something
you're
like
talking
that.
about
I mean,
burning a third for a guy for the quarterback
yeah.
that could bridge quarterback, or even just to compete. And I think this is a good hire also for Aiden O'Connell, I believe. If the Raiders do keep Aiden O'Connell, because I believe he does fit in what Pete Carroll wants, which is the love for football. I mean, Aiden O'Connell fits the Pete Carroll mold. This guy was a walk-on at Penn State and was like the 9th quarterback on the roster, and then took the job. And, so this guy has done nothing but battle at adversity. And he's shown that he is accurate. And in Aiden O'Connell's defense, yeah, he's a bit of a statue, but when given time, he could put the ball anywhere on the field. He has shown arm talent, right? That's kind of a newer term we call in all the fans is the arm talent. He can throw the ball. And I think with the offensive line that got better throughout the season, you got Brock Bowers, you got Mike Mayer, you got a ton of money in free agency. Can you add weapons? Can you add a running game? And it's exactly what Pete Carroll always says, it's playing quarterback is the hardest position to play in professional sports. And as coaches, you got to make it as easy as possible for the quarterback to do his job, to make plays. So you got to have a good defense. You got to be able to run the ball, catch the ball, not turn it over, right? You have to play really good football. And I think Aiden O'Connell can be a really good quarterback. I don't know if he's a Super Bowl quarterback. I don't know, but we haven't really seen him with a complete functioning team. Devontae Adams blew up in the Raiders' face. Josh Jacobs, they let him walk out the door with the previous regime. They let people leave the building, and you didn't.
I would say Devontae Adams. Well, you may say it blew up, but I think he was a professional about the whole situation. It was basically just wait until the end.
I mean, I guess it's as professional as you could quitting mid-season, but quit on the Raiders. You quit on the team. Like,
sure,
you quit, and if being professional, like not talking smack and being dirty on the way out, then sure, but you still quit on the team.
Sure, but he also didn't talk smack about the team once he got to defense.
That's fine.
Of course, he was dealing with his own problems over there too. But.
Yeah, but it's like he went from one dumpster fire to another dumpster fire. So it's at this point, it's like whatever, dude. I mean, he's a really good football player, and if he wanted to come back,
sure,
and actually be good, but I really think he quit on the team, to be honest. But I think what led to it was that coaching, was that. Was there something with AP? All of a sudden, last year the team was ecstatic to play for Antonio Pierce, and for whatever reason, like it wasn't the same team. They played hard, but something changed, and Devontae Adams wanted out when he endorsed AP getting the job in the offseason. So what happened in 10 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever it was from when the season started and this happened. So overall, I love it. I was telling your dad yesterday, before you can run, you got to learn how to walk. And I feel like the Raiders just need to go back to the basics. And I think a lot of, other than like Max Crosby, Brock Bowers, some players that you can bank on, that you think you can build on, this roster is getting turned over quite a bit. I believe that more than half the roster will be turned over.
Yeah. All right. One last hire. The Cowboys hired Brian Schottenheimer as their next head coach.
Was that a promotion?
Can we just hey everyone, Vince, I would just love a round of applause. Even Sam, I want a round of applause. Can we just thank you, Jerry Jones? Just keep doing your thing, man. Just keep doing your thing, baby.
Jerry, uninspiring. I think like it's a lateral move from Mike McCarthy. So
this is
keep on keeping on. Jason Garrett.
Remember he got promoted. This just feels like a Jason Garrett. Like,
yeah.
Love it, man.
I am not upset about it. Worse things have happened. So we're going to let him do that. And with that, I think we can move on to basketball. We can talk about the Warriors. They didn't have the best week. They on Wednesday, they took the loss at Sacramento, 123-117. Then they followed up on Thursday. They get the win at home against Chicago, 131-106. And then they go, on Saturday, they go on and lose to the Lakers, 118-108. They're currently one game under 500. They're 11th in the West. Upcoming schedule, all 3 games are at home. You got Tuesday against Utah, Wednesday against OKC, and then Friday against Phoenix.
So my favorite thing this week from the Warriors is the interviewer that told Steph Curry that Golden State is an alarming 1-20 when trailing after three quarters. And Steph said, "What?" And he made him repeat it because Steph was like, "We're 1 in what?" Yeah. Clearly you don't win games in 3 quarters. You win in the 4th quarter. But
right.
Steph Curry was amazed by that stat to know that when we trail by 3 quarters, we have never been able to come back and win a game outside of one time.
Yeah.
So,
it feels like that, honestly.
I was high on this post kid as our stretch big when we drafted him. But now we're kind of doing the thing that we did with our rookies last year. They're playing out of necessity and they're balling out, but it's going to be the same thing, in my opinion, where everyone's going to be super excited. I was high on Gui Santos. I have mentioned it multiple times. I want him out there, but same thing's going to happen. They're going to ball out, guys. They're going to be great. They're fresh legs. And then there's a scattering report on them by the other teams. And all of a sudden, now they don't look so good anymore. And now you're like, oh, the world's falling, the sky's falling down.
They got some tape on them, yeah.
So it's fun now. I'm here for the ride. If we get a couple wins out of it, all for it, development. That's all, that's all we could do. Development.
Right now, just to get back into the play-in tournament, you got to start winning a lot more games than where they're at right now. They're a game under 500. So, they're basically a 500 team right now. That's kind of what they've been for, the last 2 months, like it's just kind of been treading mediocrity at this point. And so you gotta, this upcoming schedule, I don't think you're going to get the win against OKC. OKC's way too good. But you have to get the win against Utah, and Phoenix is a team that you're fighting with over, so you gotta get that win against Phoenix as well. And I just, if you're going to turn it around, now's the time to turn it around. All-Star game's coming up soon too.
Speaking of Phoenix and making me think of Kevin Durant, did you guys see the clip for the new documentary coming out for the Olympics?
No.
They have Evan Fournier is playing with France, obviously, and he's on record saying like, "Oh, we're the best team because have team chemistry. We've been together for 10 plus years and we've been playing together for 10 plus years. So like France is the most dominant team." And then Durant said, "Okay, so your chemistry going to help when you have to guard Steph Curry? Good luck."
Yeah. So I just pulling up the standings real quick. The Suns are 2 games above 500. They're 23-21. So they're about a game and a half ahead of the Warriors in the standings as it stands right now. That's, I'm just looking at these numbers. Last 10, the Warriors are 4-6. At home, they're 12 wins, 12 losses. Away, they're 10 wins, 11 losses.
Yeah.
The big part is they're 1-8 in the division. So when you're playing, the LA teams, when you're playing Phoenix and Sacramento, they are not getting those wins, and that's really killing them. That's almost more than anything. They're currently Sacramento is holding the 10 spot right now. They're 1 game up. Mavericks are like they have a couple of games extra played on top of the Suns, but they're statistically tied with the Suns for the 8 and the 9 seed. They're basically right there hand in hand. And Minnesota is just a half a game ahead of the Suns. So as down as we feel about the Warriors, they are not out of this by any
No, not at all.
means.
It's a very outside the top 3 teams.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, even if you want to look at the 5 seed Lakers and the 6 seed Clippers, they're only like the Warriors are only 4 games back of both of them. So, like, it's you're within range. You can make a jump. You can still turn it around. The trade deadline is coming up. It's not too far away. We've already had a couple of moves happening. People are still trying to figure out what's going to happen with Jimmy Butler, who has been suspended indefinitely as of today. They told him he was going to be benched, and then he just kind of left the floor. And I think that's the last the Miami has seen of him.
It's crazy. So like I know, not Spoelstra. I know Pat Riley is like, he's known to be kind of a dick. Let's be honest, but
yeah,
he's just, now they're just fucking toying with each other all the way through. Both of them. I mean, I'm not gonna say Butler's absolved. He's also an a-hole in his own right, but God, man, I'm really glad the Warriors didn't try to make a trade for that. I do not want that headache on this team, unfortunately. I want nothing to do with that.
I think it would be fine for about half a year. and then starting next year would be where the problems may start.
Well, he said that he wants to go to a team and then that be his team for the rest of his career.
Yeah.
But he said specifically, and I mentioned not Memphis. And Memphis is like, why you say fuck me for?
He's like, what did I do, man? What was that in Waiting? Dane Cook going, what the fuck did I do? The guy gives him the goat. Anyway. Oh Lord,
great movie.
This is the movie review podcast where we talk about random parts of movies. Anyway, so it's time to turn it around. You got the All-Star game coming up in just a couple weeks now, and the All-Star game is here at Chase Center in San Francisco. So now's the time. If they don't turn it around in the next couple of weeks, I would say before All-Star break, I would love to see them above 500. Start playing better now. Heading in, and then you start to feel a little bit good going into the All-Star break. I don't even care if they're still in the 11th seed as long as they're above 500.
I think this is exactly what Adam Silver wants, by the way. I mean, while we as fans feel like it's, turmoil here because it kind of does feel like it, but at the end of the day, he's got a really close race in the West. I don't think the East is that close, but certainly in the West, it's going to come down to like the last week or two of the season. For sure.
Yeah. So I mean, the Thunder are running away with the 1 seed. But then you have the Rockets and the Grizzlies are statistically tied for 2nd and 3rd. The Nuggets are 2.5 back of them, and then you got the Lakers and the Clippers statistically tied for 5th and 6th at 11 games back of the Thunder. So just a couple games back of the Nuggets. And then we talked about the play-in tournament. There's 1 game separating 7 through 10. So
what is the East look like? It's
close.
Just Boston, right?
So in the East, you have the Cavaliers are the 1 seed.
Oh yeah. I forgot.
Boston is 4.5 back of them. The Knicks are 2 games back of the Celtics in the 3, and then you drop all the way down to the Bucks in the 4 seed. They're 3.5 back of the Knicks. The Pacers are only 1 behind the Bucks, and then the Pistons are just 2 games back of the Pacers in the 6 seed.
So there's some parity there. So it's gonna each conference or East and West is gonna come down to the last few weeks.
Right. Yeah. So then I mean, and for their play-in tournament, the Magic are statistically tied with the Pistons. The Heat are just a half game back, and then the Hawks are in the 9 seed, just a half game back of them. And then the Bulls and the Sixers are kind of playing slap fight for the 10 seed right now. There's a game separating them, but they're both significantly under 500. So
gotcha.
And then we don't worry about the Nets, Raptors, Hornets, and Wizards.
Yeah,
the Wizards only have 6 wins on the season, so it could be a lot worse.
Wow.
It could be
a Jordan Poole back.
Oh no, not with that albatross of a contract. I'm glad we were able to get rid of that contract, man. I don't, him, the player, I'm sure sad to, he could have played a lot better with the Warriors, I think, but God, that contract, I can't believe we signed him to that. And I still can't believe we got rid of it. I'm astonished that happened. I can't believe it. Like goddamn, that's some fucking wizardry to make that happen. Anyway, there is one massive WNBA trade that happened. We talked about it before. Jewel Lloyd was looking to get out of Seattle. It finally happened. She's going to Las Vegas Aces.
Boo.
And yeah, boo. And this ends up being a 3-team trade to make it all work. So the Aces then send Kelsey Plum to the Los Angeles Sparks, and the Seattle Storm ends up getting the number 2 draft pick that the Sparks had. So, and then there's like a couple of draft picks and another.
Well, there goes our point guard for the Valkyrie.
Well, no, I mean we got Kate Martin. So I mean she's no Kelsey Plum, but it'll be she's a second year player. Has a chance to really grow and could be the star. Could be a star. We'll see. She's best friends with Caitlin Clark in college, so that's kind of why people at least are familiar with her to start. But has a chance to really make a name of her own here, and just from the ground up. And she Nikasi, the head coach, probably had a hand in picking Kate Martin. So, they were working together in Las Vegas. And so she maybe sees something there.
Oh,
so,
for sure.
That's something to look forward to at least.
I'm just hoping the Valkyrie trade up to that number 1 spot. That's what we really need to do.
Yeah, I would
sell the farm. What do you have to lose?
Yeah. Would be nice. It would be nice. It really would. But we'll see. I wonder who's going to be there at 5.
It's going to be at center. It's going to be that center from UCLA. I'm still marking my words on it. Yes, okay. It's going to be her.
All right. Cool. All right. So let's switch gears now. Let's move over to the ice. The Sharks had a really rough week, guys.
I will say now, both these games you're going to mention, while they did lose them, they were competitive games, given that the first one, maybe we didn't want to be competitive that way since we were leading it.
Right. Yeah. So at Nashville on Tuesday, they lost 7-5. Then they come home for the home and home series against Nashville. They lose that game 6-5. They had to come back and make it a game, end up losing that one. As Tyler mentioned, the Tuesday game in Nashville, the Sharks were up in the third, and then they blow the lead. I think that was the 10th third period lead they've given up this year. Yep. Which sucks, but last year they didn't have that many third period leads to give up. So progress?
I'd say it's progress. I mean, look, Nashville is a bottom tier team this year.
Yeah, they did not perform up to expectations. They made all those huge signings in the offseason. They won the offseason, and
it took them like 2 weeks to get their first win.
They were lower in the standings for quite a while, but not so anymore. And then we can talk about our Saturday trip. All of us, we were at the game as Sam had mentioned. They end up losing 7-2 against Florida. And so in the last week, that's 20 goals in 3 games they gave up. So the defense is not getting it done at all. Goaltending was kind of rough as well. Georgiev was in net to start, and I mean he surrendered 4 goals. That fourth goal was 3.5 minutes into the second period, and then they make the swap, and Askarov ended up allowing a couple more goals in. But I mean, a couple of the Georgiev goals he needed to stop. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But then a couple of the other ones, it was just, what can you really do? Sometimes, when Marc-Edouard Vlasic clears a puck right to the man on the point, and he just snaps one past him. I mean, I don't know. It's tough.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I mean, I know that we're giving up a lot of goals here, but at the same time, we're also giving up like 40 plus shots on goal per game. Yeah. Near. That's not helping.
No, not at all. Yeah.
I know I'm giving Georgiev shit because rightfully so. He needs to go down, and we need Vanacek back desperately just to fulfill that second spot. But giving up 40 shots on goal is certainly not going to help your cause as a goalie either, especially when you're doing that every single game. So
yeah. So as far as the standings go, The Sharks are dead last in the West. They're dead last in the NHL. It's rough out here, but they're in line to get another high draft pick. They could win the draft lottery again, get another number 1 overall back-to-back years. That is in the cards because the Blackhawks, they got a win this past week, and there they are. They jumped ahead of the Sharks in the standings. So there was a picture circling around from the Saturday night game of Mike Greer just head in hands.
Yeah,
because that game was bad. That was brutal. That was rough to watch. As much fun as it was for us to hang out, it was not fun to watch that game. Like to actually sit there and watch it happen as it was happening, unfolding in front of us. That one was brutal. It was not fun to see just top to bottom performance.
Also,
this is the worst I've seen them look.
They did not get us tacos. That was other defeat.
Yeah, I know. They actually, both of their goals came in the first period. They were up 2-1, and then they surrendered 6 unanswered goals. And there's your final on Saturday. So
just needed a third goal for some tacos.
I mean, yeah, we started chirping real bad. Like you greedy bastards, Florida. Let us get our tacos. You're already killing us. So yeah, all right. So there's only 2 games this upcoming week. We have versus Pittsburgh tonight. Actually, that game's gonna drop. The puck drops at 7:00, I believe, and then they're at Seattle on Thursday. So for your win of the week, both of these teams are not very good, but they're better than us. So who's it gonna be?
I'll
take it tonight.
Yeah, I'll let Birthday Boy take first.
All right,
tonight.
Sam's got tonight. All right, how about you, Tyler?
I would take tonight, but I feel like our old pal there is going to really give it to us. So I'm going to go to Seattle.
You're going to take Seattle? Okay. So you know what? I'm going to take tonight as well.
I just feel like Erik Karlsson's just going to piss me off.
He'll have 3 points on the game. But like they're, it ends up not mattering or whatever because Pittsburgh is trying to sell right now too. They're, it's kind of their window has closed. Anybody not named Sid Crosby is on the trade block. So,
which that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
I mean, Malkin, Karlsson, Crosby, crazy.
They got 3 chips out of that window, and that window was open for a good long while.
We don't talk about that one though.
Yeah, that one in 2016. That one was not fun. Yeah. So
I still, man, to this day, when that first game rolled out and I watched the Penguins skate, in the game, I was like, "Holy shit! Is this what a team is supposed to look like?"
Yeah.
God damn.
So they were so fast. They were so fast in 2016. With that being said,
that was definitely something I don't watch as much hockey back then, but that was the first thing. As soon as the puck dropped, I was like, why are they so much faster than us? Oh my God. They're everywhere.
All right. So it's time we switch gears over to soccer. I think let's talk about Wrexham real quick. Tyler, how'd they do?
Man, can we just get a damn win? I mean, I'll take it because it was against Birmingham. You at least get a point out of it, but they're sitting in third. This win could have resulted in you jumping to tying for first or taking first, given how the games played out. But nonetheless, you're still in there, top 3 teams. All right, so we're still good. That just would have been a good win. So I mean, for a morale standpoint and a confidence boost, that would have been a good win. But nonetheless, we move on to our next match against Stefanage on Tuesday, which is mañana for those, or today if you're watching this on a Tuesday. And then we followed up on Saturday against Crawley. So still plenty of time. Like we said, it's not a sprint. It is a marathon. So we'll just keep you guys posted as we go along. They did make a trade, but I have not seen if it's been official yet. So waiting to see if that's going to be official, but it sounds like they're picking up another striker here, which is kind of what they needed anyway. So
yeah,
I will post that once we catch word that that's official.
Okay. Yeah, so moving on to some NWSL news, Bay FC has lost a couple of players. Defender Jen Beattie announced her retirement this past Tuesday. She had 144 career caps for Scotland, and she had 2 long stints at Arsenal and many accolades, include like 18 years, 14 trophies. She also got the Lauren Holiday Trophy this past year in 2024, which is for those of you, it's like service to the community and stuff like that. It's like the Walter Payton Man of the Year award, but the NWSL's version of that. So yeah, a hell of a career. She's also going to start doing a lot of broadcast work too. So those of you that are fans of her work, she's going to keep doing that. And also, she's dating Ali Krieger. So worse things have happened. Good for her. And then also, Bay FC announced that after a mutual agreement, midfielder Dana Castellanos is she entered free agency. She since signed with the Portland Thorns. Castellanos was transferred over from Manchester City, and she was in 25 matches, 12 starts. All of those were at the beginning of the year, basically. She had 2 goals and 1 assist. It just ended up not really working out. The team wasn't all that great when she was playing, and then when she when she was moved to the bench, that's kind of when the team started to play a little bit better. So, for whatever reason, like the system that Bay FC was running with Albertine Montoya and Dana, it just did not like mesh well. So the number 10 jersey is now open for somebody else to take at Bay FC, and we'll see who ends up wearing that next year. A couple of other notes for U.S. women's national team players. Naomi Girma, the all-planet defender, transferred to Chelsea for a record 1.1 million fee. The original record was Bay FC's Rachel Kundananji when she transferred over this past year for just under 900K. So there's a lot of money now being to get these transfers to go for high-priced talent. And then also Jenna Neiswanger is transferring from Gotham FC to Arsenal in England for 100K fee. Gotcha. So there's a couple of players heading across the pond, going to play in Europe. And for whatever reason, a lot of the voters and stuff, they're like on like, you know, awards for postseason and stuff like that. They don't really like they kind of downgrade NWSL, even though you have a lot of really talented, and actually the league itself is really good too. But for whatever reason, like Naomi Girma wasn't even considered for Defender of the Year, even though she's the best defender on the planet. And it's because she's playing in NWSL. So this is a chance for her to like show to the European voters, hey, look at me, God damn it. Look at how great I am. So she's going to get that chance and she's going to crush it. And I have all the confidence in the world that she's going to be a fucking nightmare for anybody that she plays against. And Jenna Neiswanger is a hell of a player too. And it'll be fun to see what she can do over there too. She's really young too. I think she's like 23 or something like that. So her entire career is ahead of her. Same with Naomi Girma. I think Girma's only 24. So plenty of opportunity going forward. So as my dad says in the chat, good for Naomi. Exactly. And that's what I got there. One note that I didn't include in here, but I will say the official schedule has released. And Bay FC has they're going to open the season on the road on March 15th. And then their home opener is March 22nd. They play a lot on the road to start. They're going to have a lot of home games at the end of the year, though. So that's nice. Let's see, what do we got? We got home openers the 22nd of March. You have women's empowerment on April 13th. And that game is against the Chicago Stars. You have Asian American Heritage Night on May 17th. You have Pride Night on June 7th. They're doing a Juneteenth celebration on June 13th instead of 19th because there's no game on the 19th. Latino Heritage on September 21st. So that's, right at the start of Hispanic Heritage Month. And then Fan Appreciation, of course, is the final game of the year, October 17th, the final home game, against North Carolina Courage. Every game is going to be able to be viewed. There's no like TV blackouts or anything like that. So definitely tune in, and I'm going to try to find my way to at least 2 games, probably 3 of them. We'll see how life unfolds from, what my schedule holds, but I'll be out there for sure. Also, the women's national team is going to be playing against Brazil at PayPal Park in San Jose on April 8th, and I will definitely be at that game. I got my tickets for that, so anybody else is going to be there, give me a shout, and we'll see you there. It's gonna be
nice, man.
Yeah. And that's it for soccer. That's all I got. Yeah.
Sweet.
Right on.
Last thing we got to do is check the time.
Oh, the
it is fuck John Fisher. It is fuck John Fisher o'clock. There is going to be Fans Fest is going to happen again. It's going to be at Raimondi Park beginning of March. I think it's March 1st. So look out on the socials for that. And it's the Last Dive Bar is putting that on like they did last year. So keep an eye out for that. And I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun. And they're already starting to announce vendors. So there we go.
Drake's Brewery will not be there.
Drake's Brewery will definitely not be there.
Damn.
All right. That's all I got.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for listening to the SVT Sports Podcast. Subscribe on YouTube and hit the bell for alerts so you always know when we go live. Also, if you haven't noticed, we're doing some videos on the side, so tune in for those. Check us out at our Threads account at SVT Sports Pod. Slide into our DMs. We would love to interact with you.
That's right. See ya.